Some of the most financially stressed people today are actually making the most money. Freelancers pulling in 5 figures every month. Content creators monetizing their audience. Developers working with clients across the world. Consultants charging premium rates. From the outside, it looks like total freedom. But inside, it often feels surprisingly unstable. When a client disappears, a platform updates its rules, a slow month arrives, and suddenly that freedom feels very exposed. No, here's the important part. This usually isn't happening because someone is irresponsible with money, and it's not because they lack ambition. It happens because digital income and financial security are not the same thing. And most people only discover that difference once the pressure starts building. So if you're earning money online, stay with me for a few minutes, because this conversation might completely change how you look at your income. Welcome to Quiet Wealth Insights. My name is Godwin. On this channel, we talk about money in a calm and clear way. No hype, no pressure, no unrealistic promises. Just thoughtful conversations about building durable wealth in a changing world. If that sounds like your kind of conversation, consider subscribing. No, let's talk about something people rarely explain. We are living through one of the biggest economic shifts in modern history. For the first time ever, individuals can build meaningful income without a traditional 9-to-5 job. A physical office, a fixed location, or approval from a traditional gatekeeper. You can earn from a laptop. You can work with clients across continents. You can sell your skills, your knowledge, your attention, or your systems. The opportunity is real and is powerful. But beneath that opportunity, there is something quieter, something most people don't talk about. I call it instability. No, when I say instability, I don't mean dramatic failure. I don't mean a public crash. I mean something much more subtle. Income that comes in waves. One month is strong. The next month is slower. Clients delay projects. Platforms adjust their algorithms. Demand shifts. Most of the time you're busy. You're producing work. You're earning, but you never fully relax. Even while the income is coming in, there's a quiet tension underneath it. And when people notice that feeling, the first instinct is usually simple. Maybe I just need to save more money. Saving is important, of course, but saving alone doesn't actually solve structural instability. I talked about this idea more deeply in another video here on the channel called Why Saving Alone Doesn't Build Wealth. Because wealth doesn't come only from discipline, it comes from design. And this is where the deeper psychological effect starts showing up. Because somewhere in the back of your mind, you know things can change quickly. And that quiet, what if feeling slowly starts changing your behavior? You hesitate to say no to work. You overwork during the good months. You underprice during the slow ones. You upgrade your lifestyle when revenue spikes. From the outside, everything looks successful, but internally, it doesn't feel stable. And that feeling can be confusing because the income is redofenten. So why doesn't it feel secure? The answer has very little to do with income. It has everything to do with structure. When someone works for a company, stability is designed into the system. Your salary doesn't fluctuate wildly every month. The company absorbs risk. Demand fluctuations are spread across departments, investors, and capital reserves. But freelancers, creators, consultants, and developers are exposed directly to demand. And demand is naturally volatile, which means as your income grows, your exposure often grows with it. A bigger client means greater dependency. A monetized platform means reliance on algorithms. Higher lifestyle costs mean greater pressure. Growth without structure can actually make life more fragile. And that's the part nobody explains. There is a difference between earning money and building wealth. Earning is transactional. You produce something. You get paid. Wealth is structural. It's what remains after income flows through your system. Income is connected to what you produce today. Wealth is connected to how your system is designed. This idea connects closely to another conversation I had on the channel called The Quiet Rules of Financial Growth. In that video, we talk about how real wealth often grows quietly and structurally, not through sudden spikes of income. Most people in the digital economy become very good at earning first. They sharpen their skills. They raise their rates. They grow their audience. They take on more clients. Those are valuable abilities. But without an underlying structure, that growth stays exposed. You can double your income and double your stress at the same time. Here's something that quietly happens during growth. Income increases, you feel relief, and naturally, you upgrade your lifestyle. A better apartment, more subscriptions, more recurring expenses. It feels deserved, and sometimes it is. But if those upgrades are based on peak income instead of average income, something subtle happens. Your income becomes something you need rather than something you choose. And that is when fragility begins appearing. Slow months start feeling dangerous. Pressure increases. And the freedom that looks so exciting begins feeling like responsibility. If that sounds familiar, take a breath. You are not failing. You are operating inside a system that celebrates expansion, but rarely talks about durability. Durability has to be designed. It doesn't happen automatically. Real digital wealth looks different than most people expect. It is not just high revenue. It is capital that remains after spending. It is diversified income sources. It is cash buffers. It is assets that stabilize your financial life. It is the ability to lose a client without panic. The ability to take time off without everything collapsing. The ability to say no without fear. That is a very different form of freedom. And it doesn't come from earning more. It comes from designing better systems. At some point, a mindset shift happens. You stop thinking, I make money online. And you start thinking, I am designing an economic system. That shift changes everything. Instead of reacting to income waves, you start smoothing them. Instead of spending based on peaks, you start planning around averages. Instead of short-term survival, you begin building long-term structure, and gradually the stress begins disappearing because stability has been engineered. A few years ago, I became deeply curious about this exact problem. Why do so many people earning money online still feel financially exposed? So I started writing down the framework that solves it. That thinking eventually became a book I wrote, The Digital Wealth Blueprint for a Sustainable Life. It's not about viral tricks or fast money strategies. It's about something deeper. Turning unstable income into durable wealth. Turning volatility into manageable variation. Turning income into capital you actually keep. And building systems that become calmer as they grow, not more stressful, because earning online is one skill. But building durable digital wealth is another skill entirely. And most people are only taught the first one. So here's a simple question worth thinking about. If your income doubled tomorrow, would your stress go down? Or would your exposure increase? Your answer to that question reveals a lot. High income without structure often increases pressure. Moderate income with structure increases freedom. That is the hidden price tag behind digital success. And once you understand it, you start building differently. Before we wrap up, there's one more thought worth sitting with. Many people assume financial freedom comes from earning more money. But what actually creates freedom is stability beneath that income. When your financial life is designed properly, something surprising happens. Your income can fluctuate, and your life still remains calm. That idea, building stability beneath digital income, is the foundation of the framework I explain in the Digital Wealth Blueprint for a Sustainable Life. The book walks step by step through how freelancers, creators, consultants, and digital entrepreneurs can turn unpredictable income into durable wealth. If this conversation gave you a new way to think about your income, let me know in the comments. Have you ever had a moment where your income looked strong, but your financial security still felt uncertain? I'd genuinely be curious to hear your experience. And if you are interested in the quieter side of wealth building, you might also enjoy the video, The Quiet Rules of Financial Growth. Digital income is powerful, but design makes it durable. Thanks for spending this time with me, and I'll see you in the next video.